Hi students! Today we are going to work on whole number division with rectangle and expanded notation. If you remember doing the area model with multiplication and you enjoy that, I think you're really going to like whole number division with rectangle and expanded notation as well. Let's start with the sample problem. We're going to start with 705 divided by 3. So what I like to do in this case, boys and girls, is since there are 3 digits in 705, I go ahead and make a rectangle that has 3 partitions in it, because I may need up to 3 steps to figure this problem out. Okay, so we'll go ahead and put 705 in the first box. Okay, this is your dividend, and then we're going to put your divisor out here. So I'm going to ask myself, how many 3's go into 700? Or you can think about it this way, just to simplify it. How many 3's are there in 7? Well, that's really easy to think about because if you skip count by 3's, 3, 6, okay, let's start with 2. We know that 2 times 3 is 6, but you know, boys and girls, we're dealing with hundreds. So let's go ahead and put our place value holders here. 2 zeros. 200 times 3 is 600. Okay, now let's subtract. 5 minus 0 is 5. 0 minus 0 is 0. 7 minus 6 is 1. Awesome. So now we still have 105 that needs to be divided by 3. So let's take this 105 and put it in the next column. Okay, now we can ask ourselves, how many 3's are there in 100? Well, let's simplify it a little bit. How many 3's are there in 1? Okay, well, that's not going to work. So let's think about how many 3's there are in 10. Well, that's simple because we all know that 3 times 3 is 9. That's probably as close to 10 that we're going to get with 3. So let's put 3 up here at the top. 3 times 3 is 9, but we're not just dealing with 3, we're actually dealing with 3 10s, right? So let's put that 0 place value holder there and make it 30. 30 times 3 is actually 90, and we'll subtract here. 5 minus 0 is 5. 10 minus 9 is 1. Okay, so now we still have 15 that needs to be divided by the divisor of 3. So let's put 15 here in the third column. 15 divided by 3 is, well, that's easy. You all know that that's 5, because 5 times 3 is 15. Let's subtract that, and we have a remainder of 0. So what is our final answer? Well, we actually have to add 200 plus 30 plus 5 to get our answer. 200 plus 30 plus 5 is 235. So our final answer is 700 divided by 3 is equal to 235. Let's try one more sample before we move on. Okay, the next sample problem will be 1,256 divided by 4. Okay, I chose a slightly larger number this time. Okay, as I said earlier, I like to make a rectangular box that has, for this number, since it's 4 digits long, let's make a rectangle box that has 4 partitions in case we need all of that room. Okay, here we go. And then we'll put the dividend in the box and then the divisor out here. Okay, so let's ask ourselves, how many 4's are there in 1,000? Or, you know, that's a big number. So why don't we think of it kind of smaller? How many 4's are there in 1? Okay, none, right? So how about how many 4's are there in, let's start with these two numbers here, in 12. Well, that makes the number so much easier to digest. And how many 4's are there in 12? We all know that there are 3. But are we just working with 4 and 3, or are we working with a large number? We're actually thinking about this 3 is above that the hundreds place value. So we're really dealing with not just 3, we're dealing with 300. And you boys and girls know that 300 times 4 is 1,200. So now from here we can subtract. 6 minus 0 is 6. 5 minus 0 is 5. 2 minus 2 is nothing. 1 minus 1 is 0. Okay, so now we have 56, which still needs to be divided by 4. So let's start small. How many 4s are there in 5? How many? Yep, there's 1. That makes sense, but we're not just dealing with 1 here, right? Because we're talking about the tens place value, so we need that place value holder here. And we know that 10 times 4 is 40. And now we can subtract. 6 minus 0 is 6. 5 minus 4 is 1. Okay, we still have 16 that needs to be divided by 4. And we all know that 16 divided by 4 is 4. That's right. And 4 times 4 is 16. So we have a remainder of 0. We didn't need that 4th column, but that's okay. That was there for just in case. So now, the actual answer is 300 plus 10 plus 4, which is 314. So 1,256 divided by 4 is equal to 314. And there you have it. That is the whole number division with rectangle and expanded notation.